Ever imagine creating your own game? Like a game where you've got this, I don't know, fearless adventurer, right? And they're going through this crazy maze, collecting gems and dodging all these crazy traps.
Sounds kind of adventurous.
Yeah, and figuring out how to actually make that happen, like bring that to life.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
All right.
Scratch coding
Okay.
and how it can give you the power to make those ideas.
To make it real.
Real. Yeah.
It's amazing how Scratch can take something as, I don't know, complex as coding and turn it into this playground for creativity.
Yeah.
Where you can use these simple building blocks to create these interactive experiences.
So let's break down those building blocks.
Okay.
We keep hearing about code, but what does that actually mean?
Like in the world of Scratch.
Yeah, like when we say code, what are we talking about here?
So think of code as like a set of instructions.
Okay.
In Scratch, those instructions come in the form of these visual code blocks,
Okay.
which you can just drag and drop and snap together like puzzle pieces.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Like Legos.
like building with Legos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But instead of building a physical structure, you're building a set of commands that tell your character what to do.
Right, so you're not like writing out lines and lines of complicated code.
That's what I was picturing, yeah.
You're literally piecing them together.
That sounds so much easier than I thought it was.
Way less intimidating, right?
Yeah.
And each block represents like a specific action.
Okay.
So like, let's say you want your adventurer to move forward.
Yeah.
There's a block for that.
Okay.
Or turn left or right. There's blocks for that too.
Makes sense.
You can make them jump, dance, change their appearance,
All with these little blocks.
all with a few clicks.
All right, so we got our code blocks, our instructions.
Uh-huh.
Who are we giving these instructions to?
Ah, that's where sprites come in.
Sprites, okay.
Sprites are the characters or the objects in your Scratch project.
Okay.
So in this case, our fearless adventurer would be the sprite, navigating the maze, right?
And what about the maze? Where does that fit in?
So the stage is where all the action happens.
Okay.
You can think of it as like a virtual theater
Okay,
where your sprites perform.
so we got our little adventurer sprite
Yes.
on the stage.
Ready to take direction.
Ready to follow my instructions? How do I tell it where to go and what to do?
All right, so that's where things like position, direction, and orientation come into play.
Okay, getting a little technical here.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
But think of it like giving your sprite stage directions, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you use the code blocks to tell its location on the stage,
Okay.
which way it's facing.
Yeah.
Whether it's, standing upright or doing a handstand.
All right, so like if I want my adventurer to move to the right edge of the maze,
Yeah,
I would use a block to change its position on the stage.
exactly.
Okay.
You got it.
All right, so mazes.
Yeah.
Not just about walking around.
No, they're not.
There are obstacles, there are challenges.
Right.
How does Scratch deal with that?
Okay.
And I've heard of something called conditional statements,
Yes.
which sound a bit like mind reading.
A little bit, yeah. It's like you're teaching your program to think.
Okay.
So conditional statements are basically how you add logic and decision-making into your project.
Gotcha.
They tell your sprite how to react in different situations.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, like you can use an if-then block to say, if the adventurer touches a trap,
Okay.
then decrease its health points.
Oh, health points. Is that
Yeah.
where variables come in?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Variables are like containers for storing information that can change
Okay.
throughout your project.
Got it.
So they're really important for keeping track of things like scores in a game,
Yeah.
health points, time remaining,
Yep.
anything that needs to be updated as your game goes on.
So I could create a variable called health,
Uh-huh.
set it to 100 at the start.
Yep.
And then each time my adventurer hits a trap,
Yeah.
that health variable decreases.
It's exactly.
And if it hits 0,
Game over.
game over.
Right.
Could I also use variables to kind of control how difficult the game is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So you could, for example, set it up so that as the player progresses through the game,
Yeah.
the traps become more frequent
Okay.
or they move faster.
Uh-huh.
And you can do all that just by adjusting one variable.
This is really cool. We've covered code blocks.
Yeah, we've touched on a lot.
Sprites, stages, like logic and variables.
We're just getting started.
But I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
What about sounds?
Oh, yeah.
Special effects?
So Scratch has a whole category of blocks
Okay.
dedicated to sound and visuals.
Okay.
You can add background music, sound effects for like jumping or collecting gems.
Uh-huh.
You can even make your sprites change costumes or create visual effects like explosions or
So
sparkles.
I could make my adventurer flash different colors every time it collects a gem.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Or have spooky music play when it's about to hit a trap.
I like that. Right.
So it seems like Scratch can handle just about anything you throw at it.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
think it's really interesting that it's not just about learning to code in Scratch itself,
Yeah.
but it's more about developing this way of thinking,
Right.
problem solving, that
Exactly.
you can apply to anything.
That's a key takeaway here.
Yeah.
Like learning to break down a complicated task
Right.
into smaller, more manageable steps is a skill that you can use in any field,
Yeah.
whether you're, writing an essay or planning a project.
Like that whole decompose thing, right?
Exactly.
Like breaking it down into smaller,
Yeah.
more manageable.
Chunks.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And it's all achieved through this platform that's playful and engaging.
Right.
I do have to ask, though, some might say that Scratch is a bit too simplistic.
Okay.
Maybe just a toy language.
Right.
What would you say to those who underestimate its potential?
I'd say they're missing the point.
Okay.
Scratch is deceptively powerful. Yeah, it's designed to be accessible and fun,
Right.
but that doesn't mean you can't create sophisticated and meaningful projects with it.
Yeah.
We've seen people use Scratch to create interactive art installations,
Oh, wow.
educational simulations, even tools for scientific research.
So it really shows that the only limit is your imagination.
Exactly.
So to our listener,
Yeah,
what kind of interactive adventure are you going to create?
right. What will your sprite be doing?
Will they be exploring a fantasy world?
Yeah, will they be solving puzzles?
Imposing music.
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Endless.
Yeah.
Here's something to think about.
Okay.
How can you use these building blocks to create something that not only entertains, but also makes a difference?
That's a good question.
How can you use Scratch to share your ideas?
To educate others.
Advocate for a cause you believe in.
That's the real power of Scratch.
It is.
And it's all there for you,
It's right there waiting for you.
waiting for you.
Go out and create something amazing. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
All right, that's our deep dive on Scratch coding.
Awesome.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.